Jazz was born in New Orleans about 100 years ago. New Orleans was the perfect city for all of these elements to come together, as it was a port city, a meeting place for other people of different ethnic groups, and a city with nightlife where musicians had the opportunity to play together. Jazz originated from New Orleans, but its roots can be found in the music of both Africa and Europe. Africa influenced the tradition of playing in your own expressive ways, making it an extension of your own human voice. Jazz brought in new dances such as the Charleston, the tango, shimmies, and the trot. The 1920s was considered the jazz age because of its lively clubs and new jazz musicians that rose up at the time. Those including Louis Armstrong, Joe King Oliver, Edward Ory, and more. These musicians were a part of a famous jazz band called Kid Ory. Kid Ory was a jazz group brought together in Chicago in 1923. The band consisted of Joe Oliver, Muck Carey, and Louis Armstrong, and clarinetist John Dodds and Jimmy Noon. New Orleans was not the only place where jazz came up. New York City was also a part of the music business. New York was made of an increased population due to the uprise of jazz. New York had the biggest nightclubs. One of them was the Cotton Club. The Cotton Club was the most famous of the city's nightclubs in the 1920s and 1930s, attracting an audience that often included the cream of New York City society. Its glittering reviews provided a medium for performances by the most prominent jazz musicians of the day, and the club's activities were brought to a wide audience by frequent broadcasts. The entertainers who played at the Cotton Club were some of the most widely known blues and jazz performers of their time, including Ethel Waters, Cab Calloway, Duke Ellington, and many others. Overall, jazz made a big impact on the 1920s. It was spread around the whole country, creating a new and lively emotion. It created a grand impact on musical history.